they said. It's going down.
Right here at Yes Media Academy Radio. The rhythm goes on. Girl, I wanna be your owner.
We break the latest news. We share you the best views. We bring the latest highlights. We play you the latest music. Yes and yes, we are here for you. So why not say yes to Yes My Radio?
Beautiful Saturday morning it is right here in the city of Ibadan with a little bit of showers of rain. Today, the 4th day in the month of July 2020, as we fondly call it. Welcome to the newspaper review on Yes Ma Radio, the first media academy radio in the city. My name is Olatunde Ido, and definitely I am not doing this alone today. I'd like to say good morning to Ini Oluwa as well. Ini, how are you?
Good morning, TD. I'm very well, thank you. And you?
Very well. All right, we have two newspapers with us this morning. With me, I have the Saturday Punch.
And I have with me the Nigerian Tribune.
Let's check out some of the headlines making the rounds this morning. From the front page of the Saturday Punch, the big, bold caption says, Leadership Crisis, APC to get new chair. National Working Committee comes up November with the rider, Buni-led caretaker to pacify more party leaders after meeting Tinubu. Panel to review Banere Committee report on Constitution amendments. Party may okay indirect primary for Ondo. Vows to win Edo governor election. You can get the full story from the inside page. It's on page 3 of the Saturday Punch.
And on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, boldly written, how Hush Puppy plotted to steal $124 million from Premiership Club, says U.S. government. And with the riders laundered stolen $14.7 million in February 2019, committed $922,857 fraud in October 2019, docked on Friday in Chicago. For the full story, you have it on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And from the inside page of the Punch, page 3 precisely, Edo poll, Atiku, Wike, Fintri lead Obaseki's re-election campaign. Detail is on page 3 of the Punch for today.
Still in the Nigerian Tribune, politicians jittery as COVID-19 death spread, with rider PDP, APC tighten access to offices. Aged lawyers, judges worried too. For full story, check it on the page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And still staying with the Punch, Lagos schools resume August 3rd. Churches, mosques remain closed. Ogun extend weekend lockdown by 2 weeks. Page 9 of the Saturday Punch has the full story.
On page 6 of the Saturday Tribune, thieves who hacked into Nigerian banks stole 2.5 billion naira, jailed in Lagos. For the full story, check it on the page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, before we go straight to the major details, one more headline from me here. NSIA receives $311 million Abacha loot, gross total assets to 649 billion naira. Page 28 of the Saturday Punch has the full story.
Still on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, I won't transmit power to my deputy despite being COVID-19 positive, says Akeredolu. We have this story on the page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, let's get to the inside pages of the stories we have read to you, amongst others. And it's still Yes Ma Radio, the first media academy radio. My first story will be taken from page 3 of the Saturday Punch. Leadership crisis. APC to get new chairman. NWC November. Barring any last-minute changes, the caretaker and extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee of the ruling All Progressive Congress may hold the party's National Convention in November. The National Convention, it was also learned, will witness the emergence of a new national chairman and other members of the National Working Committee, while ward, local government and state congresses will hold before the convention. The National Executive Committee of the party had at a June 25 meeting presided over by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired, at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa in Abuja, dissolved the National Working Committee. Others in attendance at the meeting were Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Speaker House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, many state governors elected on the platform of the party, and other stakeholders. Leadership crisis, APC to get new chairman, National Working Committee, November. Page 3 of the Saturday Punch has the full story. Please, you can check it out.
My first story, which has the headline, How Hush Puppy Plotted to Steal $124 million from Premiership Club, U.S. Government. Arrested fraudster Ramoni Olorunwa Abbas, a.k.a. Hush Puppy, on Friday appeared in a United States court to face criminal charges, including plotting to defraud an English Premier League club to the tune of $124 million, the U.S. Justice Department announced. He was alleged to have conspired to launder hundreds of millions of dollars from business email compromise, BEC frauds, and other scams, including schemes targeting a U.S. law firm, a foreign bank, and the English Premier League soccer club.
My next story is still taken from page 3 of the Punch newspaper, and it has to do with the forthcoming election for September in Edo State. Edo poll, Atiku, Wike, Fintiri lead Obasanjo's re-election campaign, with the rider PDP clears 7, disqualifies 2. The People's Democratic Party on Friday announced the Rivers State Governor, Yusum Wike, and his Adamawa State counterpart, Amadou Fintiri, as leaders of its campaign team for the Edo State governorship election. The National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Kola Ologbondiyan, who made this public in Abuja on Friday, disclosed that while Wike will serve as the chairman of the campaign council, Fintiri will be the deputy chairman. Also, in the 77-member team are 13 other PDP governors and a former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. National Chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secondus, is expected to inaugurate the campaign council at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Yakubu Dogara-led People's Democratic Party screening committee for the Ondo State governorship election on Friday cleared 7 out of the 9 aspirants seeking to contest the party's primaries slated for July 22nd and 23rd, 2020. Dogara said this while responding to questions from journalists at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja. He explained that 2 aspirants were found ineligible to contest the primary, but said they were free to approach the appeal committee on Monday to seek redress. Edo poll, Atiku, Wike, Fintiri lead Obasanjo's re-election campaign. With the rider, PDP clears 7, disqualifies 2. Page 3 of the Saturday Punch has the full story.
And on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune, senior government officials and party chieftains are running helter-skelter to avoid being hit with COVID-19 spiraling infection and disconnecting them from political base, a Saturday Tribune survey has shown. The past few weeks recorded a surge in COVID-19 deaths among top government functionaries and leading political figures, with 2 governors and families already in isolation due to the raging pandemic. Leaders of the 2 major political parties have adopted stringent measures aimed at protecting them from COVID-19 infection. Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Yakini Nabena, said his party had reached out to the NCDC to conduct tests on staffers of the Secretariat especially members of the media who are more mobile than the actual workers of the Secretariat. The National Publicity Secretary of the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, Kola Ologbondiyan, said the party has adopted safety measures to arrest the spread of the virulent coronavirus at the party's secretariat. Politicians ditty as COVID-19 death spread, with rider PDP APC tightening access to offices, aged lawyers, judges worried too. You have the story on the page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And from page 9 of the Saturday Punch, the headline here says, 40th Memorial. Buhari Oba Ogunwusi pays tribute to late Oni Aderemi. Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, on Friday said he will name his son after the 49th Oni, late Oba Adesoji Aderemi, in appreciation of the achievement of the late monarch. Oba Ogunwusi stated this at the late Oni's 40th memorial organized by the deceased children at the Monarch's Palace in Ile-Ife, Osun State. The royal father had earlier led members of the Aderemi family to lay a wreath on the tomb of the deceased and inspected the White House built by Sir Aderemi while on the throne in 1937, which the current Oni had remodeled. Also, the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, retired on Friday, paid glowing tribute to the late Oni Aderemi, a political figure who was the Oni of Ife between 1930 and July 3, 1980, when he died at the age of 90. The first-class monarch served as the governor of Western Region between 1960 and 1962. 40th Memorial. Buhari Oba Ogunwusi paid tribute to late Oni Aderemi. Page 9 of the Punch has the full story.
And on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune, thieves who hacked into banks stole 2.5 billion naira jailed. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC Lagos Zonal Office has secured the conviction of one Abbas Mohammed and the Bureau de Change BDC operator Ibrahim Seydou Jogao, who connived to hack into the FlexCube database of Union Bank and defrauded the bank of 2,550 million naira. The thieves Abbas Mohammed and Ibrahim Seydou Jogao were arraigned before Justice K.A. Jose of the State High Court sitting in Igboshiri, Lagos, on three-count charges bordering on conspiracy, retention, and use of proceeds of criminal conduct contrary to Section 331, subsection 1B of the Criminal Laws, number 11, volume 44 of the Lagos State, 2011. You have this story on the page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And quickly, before we leave this morning, my story is still taken from page 9 of the Punch newspaper with the headline, Lagos schools resume August 3. Churches, mosques remain closed. The writer there says Ogun extends weekend lockdown by 2 weeks. The Lagos state government on Friday directed that schools should reopen on Monday, August 3rd, for only senior secondary school class 3 and technical schools class 3. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stated these at the 16th briefing on the COVID-19 response at the State House in Marina, adding that pupils in junior secondary school class 3 will need to wait for about a week or two before resumption. Sanwo-Olu also sustained the ban on churches and mosques as well as on social gathering, while clarifying that the school's reopening was only for day schooling, as boarding activities were prohibited. For the primary 6 pupils, the governor noted that they will be graded by their already record continuous assessment to cross over to secondary schools. Lagos schools resume August 3rd. Churches, mosques remain closed. Ogun extends weekend lockdown by 2 weeks. Page 9 of the Punch newspaper for this day has the story.
Still reading from the Nigerian Tribune. Despite being in isolation for testing positive to COVID-19, Ondo State Governor, Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu, on Friday said he would not transmit power to his deputy, Mr. Agbola Ajayi. Akeredolu maintained that he would be discharging his official duties from home, where he is being isolated. Speaking through his Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Mr. Donald Ojogo, the governor said transmitting power to Ajayi would amount to setting the state and governance on fire. Ojo stated that the deputy governor had ceased to be a member of the party in power and remained in government with no active role to play again. The commissioner said COVID-19 should not be seen as a death sentence, but as a disease that could be managed, adding that the governor was being attended to and responding to treatment as he continued to work from isolation. I won't transmit power to my deputy despite being COVID-19 positive, says Akeredolu. You have the story on the page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune.
We have so much more stories for you to read, but time is not on our side. And we want to say a big thank you to you for being there with us. Tomorrow, definitely, God willing, is another day on the newspaper review. On behalf of the entire transmission team, my name is Olatunde Idowu.
And I am Inioluwa Akintayo.